We will start with the EFE news agency. Isabel is online. Isabel?
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, gracias. Voy a hacer la pregunta.
Yes, I'm going to ask the question in Spanish. Thank you for taking this question. In several countries in various regions, some in Latin America, pharmacies are selling diagnostic tests for coronavirus so that people can carry out the test at home. And in some countries, it's being done with authorization from the health authorities, and in other countries, it's more or less informal. And I'd like to know if the WHO advises that people carry out their own self-testing if they think that these tests are reliable, and if what they see is the risk that someone with a false negative result, if the tests are not reliable, and so someone could think that they are healthy and could then transmit the virus further, since lockdown measures are starting to be relaxed in many countries.
Thank you for the question. So there are a number of diagnostic tests that are currently available and are being sold globally. In fact, there's hundreds of them. And the tests that you're referring to are these molecular tests, or these PCR-based tests that can diagnose somebody as having active infection. It's difficult to answer that question because I don't know exactly which tests you're referring to. What is really important is that the tests that are being used by any governments or being sold, that there's clear results of how well these tests work. There are the possibilities that if they are not validated, we call validated, where we test them against known samples of whether the samples are indeed positive or negative. It's very difficult to know if the test result that you're getting is a true result. And as you've highlighted, there are risks associated with having a false positive in thinking that you are infected and you are indeed not, and more importantly, if you test false negative, where in fact you are infected and the test tells you that you're not. So there are some risks associated with being sold over the counter. Having said that, the ingenuity, the rapid development of these tests is very positive, and we welcome this innovation. We welcome the speed at which these tests are being made available, but it is important that they're validated. It's important that we really understand how well they work. Bottom line, though, is that everyone that is out there needs to adhere to public health measures regardless. These include hand hygiene that the DG has just mentioned, and you've heard us mention well, with washing your hands with soap and water or an alcohol-based rub. Practice physical distancing, so where you're physically distant from another person. Adhering to the public health measures that are put in place by governments. Practicing respiratory etiquette. These are the things that must be adhered to all the time while we work through the use of some of these tests that are coming online.